So, thank you for meeting me for an interview today. Can you start by introducing yourself?
My name's Ansley, and I'm a junior at UF.
Okay, thank you. So, my first question for you is what do you think the world will look like in 2050?
I think it'll be overpopulated in a lot of suburban areas or a lot of built up areas instead of now where you can still have areas of land and stuff.
So, you think we're gonna have a really big issue with land use and not enough left for actual natural things to occur?
Yes. Yes.
I agree. Um, do you think that we should be worried, or only certain people should be worried, or what do you think about how people are going to be able to handle all of that suburban life?
Well, I think we should all be worried because I think that the more people there are, the less food there will be. And then also if there's less land, then there will be less animals and less ecosystems to use as food. And so I think the more built up the areas become, the less likely we'll be to have enough food for everyone.
Definitely. And do you think this is going to be even a bigger issue in developing countries than just developed countries? Or do you think developing countries won't feel it as bad?
Well, I think that developing countries will definitely have a problem also, but I think that they're already having that problem, but then it'll just become worse and worse because there will be more people and still not enough food because they already don't have enough food for the people in poverty and stuff.
Yeah. And so do you think there's anything we can do to prepare? And if so, what do you think we can do to prepare for this?
Well, I think that maybe setting up like plans for food options that will keep people nourished, but maybe aren't hard to make, or the genetically modified foods. I think water, maybe trying to figure out a way to filter water better, stuff like that for the developing countries. I also think distributing food better, maybe making sure that people aren't eating above their means instead of just eating what they need to get by.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Can you start off by introducing yourself?
My name is Taylor Kruger, and I'm a second-year master's student at UF.
Okay, great. So my first question for you is, what do you think our world will look like in 2050?
I think population is going to be a huge deal. I think pollution is going to continue to maybe be an issue, but besides that, I think it's going to look pretty similar. It'll be more congested, and I think transportation, I think it'll be a lot more public transportation and more sky rails along those lines and less cars, but I don't think it's going to be too different from what we have right now.
All right, and so does that mean you're not worried, or do you think I should be worried, or what do you think?
I'm not worried right now. I don't think you should be worried. If we don't continue to adapt like we need to do to, make up for the population and the resources that we need, then we should be worried. But I think we're on the right path right now to deal with what's coming up in 2050.
And so if you think we're on the right path, that means that we're already kind of preparing. So in what ways do you think we should or we are preparing?
I think one thing we're doing right now is education. More and more people are becoming educated, and with that, I think birth rates are falling. The ACA, with their enactment of birth control being part of medication that women can receive, I think that'll really help curb the population growth that was originally expected. It's going to be, vital that we figure out the oil situation, but besides that, I think we're kind of on the right path.
And so do you think it would be a good idea for developing countries that have the biggest issues with birth rates to develop something like the ACA, or?
I'm not sure they would have the resources as of now to develop something like the ACA and provide birth control to women, but community education could be huge. That's something that doesn't cost a ton of money and can really affect a lot of people. So as long as the women are given the right resources as far as to what they need to know about birthing and the effects it has on the environment and the costs along with that, then I think it'll be sufficient for now.
All right, thank you very much. So can you start off by introducing yourself, please?
Hi, my name's Caitlin Maxian.
Okay, and my first question for you is, what do you think the world will look like in 2050?
I think we're going to be extremely overpopulated, and there's not going to be much open area left for any field work, anything like that.
And do you think that's a problem?
I do, because how are we going to grow crops? How are we going to have enough room to supply for everybody that's going to be living on Earth?
Very true. So, because of that, do you think I should be worried? Or are you worried? What do you think about it?
I think there's a lot to be worried about, because soon enough we're not going to have enough to supply for everybody when it comes to area, food, and soon enough we're going to have to deal with extreme pollution, and which is, I mean, growing constantly with global warming.
So, if we're all worried about that and that's what you think it's going to look like, what do you think we could do to prepare?
I definitely think we should start making birth control more open to everybody. It costs so much for some people, and especially in countries that can't have it as accessible as we can. And I definitely think we need to start growing crops more so the crops that we can hold on to for a longer period of time.
Okay, very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.